Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be doing the DCP vlog. Welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. I'm Julia and I will be doing the DCP in the fall. If you'd like to see my answers for the DCP tag, keep watching. So the first question is, sorry, I have to look at my phone. The first question is, how did you hear about the program? So I heard about the program in middle school from my sister. She has always been watching Disney college program vlogs, and I knew that she had an interest in it. I didn't really know what it was, and one day I asked her, I was like, is there any way for you to like live at Disney World? Like, do they have, like, I know I've heard of like the Celebration place, and then I was like, but can you live there? Like, you could rent a hotel room, but can you live there? And she was like, well, if you do the Disney college program, you can live in an apartment that's in Disney World. And I was like, oh, really? So she told me about that, and she's always known that she wanted to do the program. I wasn't 100% sure until recently. I mean, obviously, I applied in January, but I also applied last fall for the spring semester, and that was when I really decided, like, I want to try to do this. Because when my sister and I go there together, it's something that's so special to us, and I knew that if we could be able to work there and sort of provide the same amount of magic that people have provided for us, like, that would be so amazing. It was pretty much an idea that had come to my sister in middle school, something that she knew she wanted to do, that then she had given to me and told me about. Like, she is the person I always went to for questions about it. I never looked it up myself. It was just something that she had told me about. Like, my school never really told us about going to Disney for an internship, and that's kind of weird because, like, Disney's such a big company. But then when you bring it up to them, they're like, oh my gosh, like, you're going to Disney for an internship, that's amazing. But it's kind of weird they don't pass it along. I know my boyfriend's school, they did get an email that was, like, sent out across campus that was like, you know, work for Disney for a semester, but I did not. So I only found out through my sister, but it's all good. That was a good thing. Okay, now for number 2. Question number 2 is, how was the interview process? And I have both of my interviews posted. I also have my other video that sort of talks about what I went through with my interview process, but overall it wasn't terrible. It was only slightly annoying because I was stuck and applied for so long, but once I was pulled out of applied, my interview process was pretty easy. So I took my WBI through a part-time position, which I mentioned in my other video, but that means that the interview was slightly shorter. It was 2 parts instead of 3 parts, and it probably had about the same amount of questions, but there were a lot of repeat questions, so it took a little bit less time, probably like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes shorter. Not really sure, but the WBI is easy. I can post a video about how to pass it, because some people do get messed up and they're like, oh, it's the hardest thing ever, but I think you really just need to know how to answer the questions so that you're not tripping over your answers. My phone interview, I got pulled out of applied and went right into my phone interview for the Disney college program, because the WBI works for the whole Disney application process no matter what you're applying for. So as long as you pass, you're in a clear for 6 months, and if you fail, you're not in the clear for 6 months. So it's kind of make or break with any position. It's not like if you fail it, then you can just apply for another position, because you can't go anywhere if you don't pass it. So I passed, and then it worked for me for the DCP, so I got pulled out of applied and went right into my phone interview. I had my phone interview 3 days later, and it started off terrible because she couldn't hear me, because I was in my kitchen. I guess there was like an echo with my phone because I had it on speaker, but it worked out. She said I was fine, so I ended up getting the job, obviously. But yeah, the phone interview wasn't bad. But overall, my interview process was okay once I got pulled. So let's go into the third question. It's, where were you when you found out? And I was in class when I found out, but I knew that I was gonna get news that day, no matter what, pretty much. I was in my stat class, and we were doing some individual work on problems, and I got the email, and we're not allowed to have our phones out, but I just had mine like on my desk next to me because I knew I was gonna be getting something, and I just picked up my phone and looked, and it said congratulations, and I started freaking out. I started crying. I turned to my friend, I told her I got in, and then I got up and I left the classroom since I was crying so much. I didn't want to be like everyone looking at me because it wasn't like a huge class. And I went to the bathroom and I called my sister, told her I got in. She was very excited because she was already in the program. She had been accepted before I got pulled out of applied. I was also in class when I found out that I got pulled for my phone interview. It was a trend. Number 4 is, what is your role and what were your preferred roles? So my role is merchandise. Merchandise was my second choice up until like after I had my interview, because I realized, and it was kind of a little bit before my interview happened, but I knew that if I was, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique was my first choice for a long time, but I knew that that's a lot of responsibility, and it's not just because like putting makeup on people isn't something that scares me. It's just like when you're putting makeup on kids, they're not going to be like, I want my makeup like this or whatever, so if you put too much on or whatever the issue may be, like that's a problem that you have to take up like with the parents or something like that, and they're paying a lot of money to be there. And I just feel like sometimes the guests in Disney World, and like I could get it, I was like that way too sometimes, it depends on what it was, but you feel a little bit more entitled when you're there because you are spending thousands of dollars to be there. So that's kind of what scared me, which made merchandise my first choice, and I ended up getting that. So obviously I was very excited when I opened my role thing that you accept or deny. I was very excited. My other choices though would have been character attendant or attractions, and attractions I was also nervous about because for Disney World, at least, for Disneyland it's a little bit different, but for the Disney World CP you can get placed into like the bus stuff. I didn't really want to do that, but I didn't get it anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. But it is something I'd like to try, and obviously like everyone else I'd want to do Tower of Terror or like Splash Mountain because those are the most fun. I feel like I would want to fill those shoes of those cast members because, I don't know, it just seems so fun to me, especially for Tower of Terror. There were 4 roles that I didn't put interest in, and those are children's activities, lifeguard, recreation activities, and it was watercraft. Okay, time for the next question. Number 5 is, how did you find your roommates and how many do you want? So I'm fortunate enough to have found all my roommates already. Unfortunately, some of the people that I was talking to and at the beginning of the process did not get in, which isn't a big deal. I mean, there's thousands of people that get into the program that you can talk to, and I ended up finding 5 amazing girls to room with, and I love them so much. And we talk pretty much every day and complain about school and things like that, and then how we're going to Disney, how we're going to decorate our room. Some of them have channels and like Disney Instagrams that they're using for the program, so I'll link those below for you. But I found them all through the Facebook page, and that's what the Facebook page is great for, is finding your roommates for the roommate selection, and it really gives you the opportunity to look over a lot of different profiles, because most people will post like it's sort of like college when you use a like Facebook or roommate finder or whatever. You just post a blurb about yourself and different things that you like, and that was how that process worked. We want a room of 6, and we preferably want the Commons. I know a lot of people don't want Vista Way, but it is cheaper. Honestly, I don't care. I'm gonna have my car there now, which is new. I didn't originally know, but I'm gonna have my car there, so 3 of us will have cars, so I'm not really picky about where we're gonna be living, because I know I'll have the car there just in case I need to get somewhere, because the buses are pretty terrible, and the more expensive the complex is, it's kind of like the less buses they have for whatever reason, but that's besides the point. Let's go on to question 6. So question 6 is, what are you going to miss most while you're in the program? And this is a pretty obvious question, and it's one that originally shook me a bit when I was accepted, is missing my family. And originally, that's why I applied to some out-of-state schools, but ended up choosing one it's like an hour and a half from where I live. I'm gonna miss my family the most, and my dogs, but I'm gonna miss my grandfather a ton, and I'm definitely gonna miss my parents, but at least my parents are gonna come visit me. They already have their vacation planned for October during the Food and Wine Festival, which is really exciting, and hopefully I'll be able to see them. The problem is, like, you're gonna be working, so it depends when you have off, but hopefully since it's in October, we'll be able to have some time off. Once it gets towards the more popular holidays, like Christmas and New Year's, they will not give you off for that, most likely. Yeah. So definitely family and friends. My doggies. And my dogs are going with them when they come visit in October. They're staying at the Best Friends Kennel Dog Hotel thing. They always stay there because we always drive down. So the dogs will come with us. They're not flying on the plane, and then they'll just stay in their little doggy hotel, which is so cute. But I'm really excited that I'll be able to see them at some point during the program. The next question is number 7, what's your favorite Disney park? And this is sort of a hard question. Obviously, everyone wants to say Magic Kingdom because that is when most people, I feel like, people call Magic Kingdom Disney World. It's just like something that happens, but that I've noticed anyway. But it's not Magic Kingdom. I love Hollywood Studios so much. I love the feeling of walking into there. I just get like feels thinking about it. Like, not even just like walking in on Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard. It's walking into the park entrance and having like the old style like Hollywood Studios right now. I just love that, and I love the feeling of it. I always feel like it's more mellow. I mean, right now it's because I took out a ton of stuff, but Toy Story Land is opening in June. Hollywood Studios just gives off an essence to me that is so amazing. And obviously I love the Sunset attractions that has like Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, the Beauty and the Beast show. I just love it, and I think they have the best shops. You can find some things in Hollywood Studios that you can't find at other parks, and I think it's so cool. I don't know, I can't really explain my love for Hollywood Studios because it's like one of the smaller parks, but I really miss Streets of America, R.I.P. But it's okay. I'm really excited for Toy Story Land. Let's go on to the next question. Question number 8 is, what is the first thing that you want to do there? My roommates and I would like to do roommate gifts the first night, and basically that's like a little of a Disney tradition of when the roommates first get there and you all sit around and you give each other little gifts. So I'm really excited for that. That's kind of what we've been talking about, and then after we do traditions, we'll probably go to the parks before we start working. And the only problem with that is that a lot of us have different roles, so our traditions days probably won't be the same. But we'll see what happens with that, and hopefully we'll be able to get that to work out. And then obviously decorating the apartment is something that we want to do too. Question number 9 is, what is the number 1 thing on your bucket list? And I would actually love to drink around the world in Epcot. I think that would be so fun, but I'm not 21, so I can't do that. I can eat around the world in Epcot though, so I'll probably end up doing that. Another thing that's on my bucket list would be 4 parks in one day, which a lot of people do end up doing, and I have done it before with my sister, but not with the rides. A lot of people, like, I think the challenge is doing the top rides in each park, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never actually looked up on it, but I know going to 4 parks in one day because of transportation and stuff is sort of difficult to begin with. So yeah, that would be fun. Number 10 is, what is one thing that you want to take away from the program? And this is a great question. Obviously, when you do the internship, it's for networking and taking the Disney classes and things like that. But for me, meeting the people, different people there is probably number 1. Because I love meeting people from around the world, and I just love meeting new people in general, and it's so amazing to me that I'm going to be immersed into this place that's going to allow me to meet people that aren't all from America and aren't all from Pennsylvania and things like that. So I'm really excited for that, building those friendships and keeping those relationships even after the program. And then obviously the networking with the professors and things like that. Something else that I'm looking forward to is just getting to know the backstage aspects of Disney. That's something that has always been something that my family and I talk about, is the backstage parts of it. The underground tunnels, getting to see those and things like that is so cool to me. And one of the reasons I wanted to be in attractions was because you'd get to see how the rides operate and stuff. And obviously I won't be able to do that, but I'll at least get to know people that do that so they can tell me. But and I guess there's other videos, but when you're there, I think you can actually ask people more in-depth questions that maybe you're not allowed to talk about. And anyway, being in Merge, knowing how things at the Magic Bands work more so is really interesting to me, because I know it's all like a computerized system, but still, getting to know that and getting to know a bunch of different things about the parks and getting it from an employee's point of view. And a lot of people ask, like, is that going to ruin it? But I don't think so. I think it's going to enhance it for me. So hopefully that stays true. I'm sure it will. Thanks for watching this video, and I will be posting videos pretty regularly now because my semester ended at school. And just list anything that you'd like to know in the comments. I've also gotten a lot of DMs on my Instagram, which it will also be in the description, asking different questions about the program and how to get accepted and things like that. So feel free to leave me those questions either here or on my Instagram. I'll be happy to answer them, and then also I'll compile them into a video so that like repeat questions can be answered. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.